Recording in progress.
Oh yeah, we got him. Trey, Frazier, and Maestro Styles, you know we got one. Right back like we left something. We don't duck smoke, we want all of it. So line them up, Trey sharp with the blade, you know we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, you know Styles making the cut. Cause we coming out clean every time that we showing up.
It's gonna be called The Barbershop.
Yo, what up? What up? What's good, man? Welcome, folks. It's another episode of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. You can catch us live streaming right on our YouTube channel, Facebook page, Twitch, and on our Twitter handle at BarbershopSPOR2. I'm your boy Trey Frazier, and I got my brother Maestro Styles here with me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's up, man? What's going on?
Hey, man. Another day, another dime. How you?
Yeah. Life was life in this week, man.
Life has been lifing for almost 3 weeks on this side. But like I said before we got on, man, I ain't, I'm gonna sit here and be vigilant. It's the proper term, and go on to get through it. I was reading something that said, if you can't handle it, then it's just a season. It's not gonna last forever. And if you can handle it, it's going to be there until you handle it. So,
Yeah, truer words never spoken.
Yeah, so we on it.
All right, no doubt. You get a chance to watch any basketball this past week?
Hell no, I did not. But I didn't forget. I started my my NBA app, the subscription joint.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I can get help. But I ain't watched a damn thing. But before you get into the weekly basketball, weekly, did you happen to catch Benzino's Drink Champ?
So I didn't watch the episode. I just saw clips. I just saw
Right.
clips, and obviously, you're talking about when he just started breaking down, crying over the whole him and Eminem.
No,
thing.
that's not really what I'm talking about. I mean, yeah, obviously that was the I guess the bigger part of the interview, or the noteworthy. He was talking about why Paul Pierce got stabbed, and I didn't know why he got stabbed in the early 90s. But I wanted to know, did you know?
I did not know why. I remember the story. I do remember the story. I don't remember why or what happened around that situation.
Through Benzino's account, Benzino says that Paul Pierce was somewhere getting aggressive with a hood nigga, and I'm gonna have to, what I would have to assume to be Boston, but athletes going around doing what they do, playing outside playing.
Yep.
And he said he got aggressive with that hood nigga, and the dude, I guess he was trying to holler at the dude girl, and the dude who he was trying to holler at his girl went up on him and stabbed him. That dude is still in jail currently, according to Benzino.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's the Boston connection. Benzino
right.
is from Boston, so it makes sense that he would be close to the situation.
You mean Benzino? Yeah.
Benzino.
Right.
Yep.
I'm about to say, 'cause I didn't know where Paul Pierce was from. He said he was from L.A., but I didn't know that until...
No, Paul Pierce is from L.A. I always knew that. I always knew that.
I never knew that. I didn't know that. I just knew
wow.
he played for Boston. I didn't didn't even care, to be honest with you.
Right. Well, I guess later in his career, like when I started to pay attention to, accents a lot more.
Okay.
When you hear Paul Pierce talk, you could tell that he's from Cali.
Never even thought twice about it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so.
I thought that was interesting. But yeah, I mean, shout out to Paul Pierce. I mean, obviously, millions of years ago that happened, but I never knew that, so I just wanted to know if you knew.
Yeah. Side note here, our homeboy Fame Rothstein, he's in the Facebook live chat.
What up?
Hey, Fame, number one, we don't do call-ins no more. I don't know if you've been listening the past 5-6 years, but we've stopped doing phone calls for probably about that long ago.
Yeah, because y'all don't know how to get off the phone.
But yeah, that's why we bring the actual guest on. So, and just to address this point too that he says Benzino was a menace back in the day. He had beef with Mo Vaughn.
I heard that Benzino was. I don't know. Is what I heard. I forget the name of that Boston crew, that rap crew. I never remember them when it's time to remember them.
Yeah, but the first name that came to mind was Mass Pike, but that's an individual. That's not a group.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It was a crew that Benzino was with, and it escapes me.
Not the Untouchables, not that.
No,
group.
That don't sound.
Huddy, not Huddy Six and what's his name? Not that crew.
Shit, Trey, you just gonna make me look it up.
I'm just throwing names out there that I'm like, oh, yeah, he used to run with these cats. I remember the video.
I don't even remember that. Benzino. Look, man, I'm gonna be clear, man. He didn't get a whole bunch of.
I remember the videos. I remember the.
He didn't get a whole bunch of burn in my DC circles, so I didn't know about him until made Almighty RSO.
Almighty RSO. Okay,
that was the group.
Okay. Okay.
But like I said, I to his account, and when you hear stories about people in Boston, you hear about those crews and how they was living out here getting it.
Yeah.
So, but
true story too. Since Fame is in the chat here, the movie Into Deep with LL and Omar Epps. So that was based on a true story. So it's funny. They filmed the movie in Cincinnati, but the story actually happened in the city of Boston.
Oh, okay.
So I thought that was pretty interesting. When we're talking about like Boston, crime stories and stuff like that movie was highlighting that story that happened in Boston. So yeah. Shout out to Benzino, man. I think the best thing he did musically was do that Booty video. Remember that song?
Yeah. I remember Booty. I was trying to think about songs. I remember Rock the Party.
I remember Rock the Party too.
But I forgot about Booty, and I just the video. I prefer Booty.
The Teddy Riley joint. I think he produced that too.
I'm pretty certain he produced that.
Yep.
I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty certain.
Yep. So before I get into the NBA, we'll talk about. I mean, the NBA had a week.
Yeah.
Whole bunch of scuffles, and KD had a confrontation with some fans in Dallas. We'll talk about that stuff.
A little bit of straightening. I wouldn't call it a confrontation, but yeah.
But your thoughts about the Cam Newton video that surfaced on Sunday? I think it did.
Look, man. So on first glance, and a few things. So as I'm scrolling my timeline, I keep seeing TSP gang.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like these some hood niggas that got caught up in whatever their issue was with Cam Newton and that's how it was that's how they wanted to sort it out.
Now, did you know what TSP stood for at that
moment?
Had no
clue. I was literally
scroll.
I was trying to find something
on
TSP gang in Georgia and nothing popped up. So, and I went as far as to go into work the next day, and somebody was asking me about it, and I was like, yeah, I heard they're a gang. Like what the fuck could Cam Newton be caught up in with some gang members, trying to roll up on him?
Right.
Later on that day, this is Monday. I'm scrolling through Twitter, of course, the best news in the world, and these niggas is on the radio. These niggas, Total. I'm about to mess their name up. Total Sports Performance. Is that it?
Top Shelf Performance.
Oh, see, I knew I was gonna fuck it up. I wrote TSP on my notes as opposed to the acronym.
TSP sounds dope. Like the acronym by itself, it sounds dope.
I don't think anything about it, to be honest. I don't think nothing about it, to be honest with you. But so then it makes me wonder. So to kind of go back in the story a little bit, and the kind of further my narrative that I thought this was a gang.
Yeah.
A video popped up of somebody, mouth bloody, whoop whoop whoop, says, "I was there. Yeah, you stole off on me, but I went in your pockets and took your money and started flashing money that he took out Cam Newton's pocket." Now I'm wondering, was that real or fake? I don't know.
Okay.
But long story short, the dude, the Bama's going to radio and basically was like, "Yeah, we jumped him because he was talking crazy to my brother." And then he put his hands on my, not I stole him, but like put my hands on the brother. So then everybody, congregates to try to, get, to fight the nigga. I mean, my opinion on it is that of everybody's. If y'all gonna jump somebody that's 6'5" and 250 at least, look, man, y'all can't be 5'9", 5'7", like Slim is equipped. Like, let's be clear, this time last year, Slim thought he might still be getting an NFL job. Like that's not the way you do it. I can't imagine how niggas could get so mad at a 7-on-7 youth football tournament that they feel like the fight got to happen now.
Yeah.
But what I will say is that I can't fathom how, I don't know who sponsors this, who's in charge of this, or whatever. This group gotta, if it's possible, this group gotta see some type of a discipline, some type of a reprimand, cause like y'all look crazy, y'all in front of kids.
So question for you,
yeah.
Who in that situation reprimands them? Is it, I guess,
know.
whoever sponsors the event?
I don't know if there's a bigger collective that does this 7-on-7 thing. I know that Cam Newton, he was somewhere where he's saying that he has donated in total maybe $250,000 to this league or whatever this is.
Right.
I feel like you shouldn't, like, if the guy's story is true on the radio, and I don't know who's telling the truth, I don't know what's real from what's fake. He basically said the dude, like, Cam Newton be over there talking shit to him a whole lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And even if that's the case, that's the reason. Like, we talking about football. Shit talk happens sometimes. So that's the, like, did he say something about your mama? Like, did he?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just can't understand how it got to fisticuffs behind shit talking. So I don't know. It's a bad look for that league, and I don't know much about the league. It's a bad look for that group, the TSP group. It's a bad look for the kids who had to see it, the parents who allow their kids to go there. It's a bad look altogether, and I get that parents and adults tend to get a little unruly in these types of situations. We've heard stories about people dying, getting shot and dying in some of these youth football programs. It's nasty behavior, and I think everybody, adults meaning, because if we're talking about kids at the end of the day, everybody needs to start taking a look in the mirror at what are we doing this for? Because y'all niggas look crazy having that much ego and machismo in a fucking kids game.
So I did some research, and well, let me first just say that, thank God that nobody seriously got hurt.
Because niggas carry in Georgia.
Because it could have went sideways. Somebody could have got killed. Cam could have easily flipped both of them niggas over that fence in that video. Cam could have easily punched. He could have easily punched one of these dudes. Like, a lot of things could have happened, but Cam...
Well, he did get somebody. He punched somebody.
I gotta look.
Somebody got punched. Yeah, somebody got punched.
Well, so I don't know if you remember the dude that had the white top that kind of came into the video. It was right after they got the crowd to the fence area, and the dude in the white top just came and tried to punch somebody, and I thought he was trying to either punch Cam or trying to get, like, maybe one of his homeboys off of Cam. I'm not sure where he was going with the punch, but I didn't see Cam punch anybody. I saw it.
I mean, obviously they're like, I've seen 2 or 3 videos from different angles and
Yep.
different points.
I saw 2 angles too.
Yeah. But yeah, no, somebody definitely got punched. Somebody definitely got punched in one of the videos I saw.
Interesting. Okay. Because I was just about to say Cam was, I thought, graceful in just, hey, calm down, nigga. Like y'all need to calm down. Like
one nigga in the headlock, one nigga at bay can't do nothing. Like,
yeah,
he was handling them.
got grabbed by the dreads and all that.
He definitely handled it.
Right. So I did some research, and like you, I'm like TSP. Like who the hell is these niggas, right? And I'm asking folks on the timeline, like to all my Atlanta folks, like yo, who is this group? Like I have no idea, right? So then a video pops up, and it's an IG story video, and it's dude talking about he coming after Cam, whatever. And I got his handle, his IG handle.
Yeah, no need to put that out there.
And I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But I did see that, and then I did some extra surfing, and Top Shelf Performance, that's their organization. It's 2 guys, TJ and Steph. They both run the 7-on-7 program. Both these guys actually used to work for Cam years ago when Cam was doing when Cam was doing 7-on-7s in the community and stuff like that. Those 2 brothers was working with him doing that. So TJ and Steph decided, hey, we can start our own thing, and so they kind of branched away from what Cam was doing, and then they started their own thing. And and shout out to Chief Rock, because he's mentioning the same thing, that both them guys used to work for Cam back in the day. So they got their own crew of kids, and they're doing 7-on-7s and stuff. And then I saw the video in regards to them being at the radio station, talking about what happened, and him basically saying Cam was kind of talking smack to them and stuff like that. So then, whether it's true or not, I think my perception of what happened changed. I think at that point, because I was getting ready to come on here and be like, these are the types of things that people say, hey, when you make it out the hood, you don't come back, right? And now that I'm hearing these brothers talk about what happened, and regardless of whether you believe them or not, or whether there's a little bit more context to what happened, because I do believe there's more context than what they said in the interview on the radio. It's 7-on-7 football. There's a lot of competition. You got 2 young cats that started their own thing going up against Cam's 7-on-7 group. It's football, it's sports, it's competition. Folks are going to talk. You're just trying to get competitive juices flowing. You're just trying to get the best out of everybody, from the trainers to the staff to the kids and things like that. And I just take away from it, in the grand scheme of things, is that this isn't a black community issue the way Stephen A. and Shannon was talking about it on TV the other day. This isn't a thing where it's not a what do you call it? It's not an epidemic. It's not a problem within the black circle. I just think this is just 2 groups of organizations that believe in what they stand for. They believe in their kids. They believe in their staff. And they're just trying to go out and, all in the midst of having fun, just talking smack. And I think some of it got to the best of these guys, and somehow they just got into the tussle some way, somehow.
I 100%. I 100%. Now, I don't know. I disagree. And I don't know about terms of...
now, you disagree with what part?
That this ain't a black issue. This is a black issue. I don't know about epidemics. I didn't listen to Skip or Shannon talk about I didn't watch them cover this situation. What I could this is a black situation for a few reasons. One, it's all over social media. It took over social media headlines for a day. That's a problem. Two, these are prominent black men in the NFL, in a football community. 2, 3, these are kids It's not Cam Newton against against I compare this, obviously it's levels, but I compare this to if two NFL owners got to talking shit to each other about the validity of their teams, and who's the better team, and then Art Rooney got to arguing with Bob McNair. I know Bob McNair I don't think he's an owner anymore, but anybody.
Arthur Blank. I think a better one is Arthur Blank versus.
I don't care. I don't care who the names are.
Tepper.
I don't care who the names are.
I'm going with the division rival thing. That's why I brought that up.
I don't care about the names. Ain't the point. The point is that two owners don't get into fisticuffs in public about who football team is better. Mm-hmm. This is deeper than competitive edge. It's deeper. You're teaching kids. Mm-hmm. These are kids involved. Like this ain't just and on top of that, I don't know what your experience is with youth football.
Yeah.
But the parents of one crew of one team see that, and then the parents of the other see that, and then now all of a sudden there's unwarranted tension between parents of opposite teams.
Yeah.
This is how niggas get shot at these games. Like if anybody that's supposed to hold their integrity, mm-hmm. it's owners. And it may, so like this whole I don't know about epidemics. I don't know about a pattern. I don't know about this grand thing, but I know that one football group or organization in Cam Newton's and then another one in TSP mm-hmm. are and based on the amount of money that's being talked about in these conversations, I gotta assume are two of the top youth football organizations in that space.
Yeah.
So for y'all to be black people acting like that in public, nah, that's a problem. That is that, and I won't speak to the whole race of black people and what they're doing.
That's what I'm talking. But that's what I'm talking about, though. Like that's what I'm saying is I don't think it's I don't think it's that. I think it is competitive. I do think it's just two groups of people.
My point is.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. That's it. My point is that y'all are held to a higher standard. Period.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I'm not. So I'm not talking about. Mm-hmm. So it's a black issue because in this isolated event, mm-hmm. And maybe not so much Cam Newton because, like I said, you should be able to talk shit and go home and not get into no melee mm-hmm. behind talking shit unless the person initiating the shit talk put their hands on you. Now, if that's what happened, then shame on Cam Newton and TSP was just defending themselves.
Yeah.
But if TSP put hands on him first and that's what happened, then shame on them. Like this is that like that's not what you should be showing kids. That's not what you should be showing parents. It looked like it was in a big event. Mm-hmm. Just based on the videos I've seen, mm-hmm. It's not a good look for black people. It just ain't. And sure we can sum it up to just an isolated event because that maybe is what it is.
That's more so where I'm leaning towards, that it was just isolated. But I do hear you. But I hear you in the sense that the business got out. It got caught on camera. It's not a good look for us as a people.
And how do
that
you
part
respond,
I agree with. I agree with that.
How do you respond to these kids mm-hmm. who you are trying to teach how to deal with confrontation?
Right.
What are you teaching these kids when you
yep.
like? I'm super curious as to what Cam Newton and coaches said to those kids that had to see that, and what TSP said to those kids that had to say that. That had to see that.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah. Good points.
Yeah, that's
good
a black issue. You're teaching kids that. And look, nobody's perfect, but I'm not going to act like that's not an issue because we're not perfect. That's an issue.
Yeah. So I think for me, because I know who these guys are now versus me just thinking, oh, it's just some random cats that just want to fight Cam Newton. then that's where I was ready to come out and be like, oh, this is one of the reasons why they say, hey, when you make it out the hood, you better not come back. But I think now that I had clarity on who these guys are and what they were trying to represent, and the fact that they know Cam Newton, they worked with him already, was the reason why I was a little more so on the side of this is just an isolated incident. But I hear you, and I get your point in regards to, because it became a story and because it got exposed to the public and it's, kind of showing our bad side. Yes.
And also because, and I'm pushing this because it needs to be said, and because those coaches and owners have to answer to those kids who saw y'all acting a damn fool.
Yeah. Right.
They got to answer that. They got to answer for that. And just to add to it, and I won't push the conversation too much longer.
Yep.
On the outside looking in, you can't tell me that those two dudes and Cam Newton didn't have an issue long before this.
I believe they did.
They had a beef.
I believe they did.
So, and I'm not talking about competitive advantages and football. I'm talking, I now wonder why they no longer work with Cam Newton.
Yeah, like it's something deeper than it's just, hey, we just want to branch out and do our own thing. Maybe.
It feels like, without having all the information, obviously, it feels like I've been waiting for this nigga to give me a reason to leave. And Cam Newton gave them the reason on Sunday. That's what it feels like.
I would love to hear Cam's response to this whenever his next podcast episode is. Certainly want to hear his side of it. We've already heard TJ and Steph's side of it, although I need to actually listen to more, because that was just a snippet of what we heard them address the fight. But I certainly would like to hear both their sides from a grand perspective, and then we just kind of make our own, conclusions as to, what kind of led to it.
I know we have to cover it because we do a podcast, but
sure. Probably gonna forget about it. I might scroll up and here go Cam. I want to hear what he got to say about it.
It would have to be a new occurrence. I promise you, I ain't doing no digging for none of that shit.
Maybe, but nah. You know what? I'm gonna do some digging. I wanna hear what Cam has to say.
For sure. I'm sure it'll come out though. That's what I'm saying. I don't think you're gonna have to do no digging. I'm sure when it happens, it'll come out.
He'll address it, and again, thankfully, nobody got seriously hurt. Kids went home safely, parents and staff,
like and
everybody else.
Niggas can carry hammers.
I know. I know. That's why, and at the end of the day, they had the scuffle, but no serious bloodshed. Folks survived. Everybody went home. That's all that matters to me anyway. That nobody got seriously killed in the situation.
Just to end. Yeah, you better talk to them damn kids and tell them that y'all made a mistake.
Yeah.
Whoever.
I would like to hear. I would like to hear if I can find an extended portion of their interview on the radio to see them addressed.
Because they know
the public and stuff. Yeah.
Because from the small clip I saw, you could tell they realized, that shouldn't have happened.
Right. And they did apologize. I did see that in the clip, that they did apologize to the kids, to the parents for all of that transpiring. But I would like to hear more from them to really push the point that, hey, there's no room for this in the culture that we do these 7-on-7s. There's no room for it.
And then you acting like they giving niggas a shot to do shit like this, man. And like y'all,
right.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Like sometimes we sometimes we get a little caught up. And I see it in every sporting event I go to that involves kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? For the most, like don't get so caught up where you finding yourself being disrespectful to another adult behind kids playing a game.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's just kids playing a game. It ain't no money involved, or it shouldn't be any money involved, let me say. I go to my kids' basketball games, and I go to talk, I talk Papa Lord shit to another parent when they see, because I scream for my kids. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, somebody see me screaming, see me into it, and they'll talk a little trash to me, and I talk a little, we all laugh about it, dap up, and it is what it is. But I've seen it. I've seen the ugly side of it where people were one mom for one team and a mom from another team is like ready to square up behind a game. Like your kids are watching you do that.
Yeah.
And that, like, nah, y'all, it's a game at the end of the day.
It's wild. It's wild, man. I think the two instances that I've seen with my kids playing soccer was one of Nate's games. This was this past fall, and we're at the soccer field. The game's going on. It's pouring down rain, and one of the parents on the other side starts screaming on our side, and one of the parents on our side was giving it back to him, and they just dropping an F-bomb back and forth with each other, and we like, ho, like, yo, calm down, y'all. Like, it's a kid's game, man. Like, we here to cheer the kids on. Like, y'all over here doing profanity back and forth at each other. Like, y'all gonna have to leave the field with that. Like, y'all can't be doing that, right? And then the second incident I saw, and this wasn't necessarily our game, but so at the playground we go to, there's two soccer fields next to each other. So there was another game in progress next to our game. And I'm seeing from a distance, yo, this woman, she gets up out her chair and she is getting into another parent's face while the parent is sitting down. Like, she's down, looking down on her, like screaming, moving hand movements and all that stuff. And I'm just like, yo,
I done seen full blown fisticuffs, bro.
I'm like, yo, it's about to go down. I was expecting it to go down.
Yeah, I've seen full blown fisticuffs at Pop Warner games. Mm-hmm. I've seen full blown fisticuffs in the parking lot, like full blown fisticuffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. And going back to Nate's game with that incident, so the game ends and the coach. So, you know, both teams, they do their dap ups and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then both coaches meet in the middle of the field. And so the other coach was like, he was pissed off about the profanity back and forth and stuff. And then parents started walking toward the middle of the field. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to walk to the middle of the field. And, you know, if something's going to pop, then something's going to pop. But I mean, we're not about to just, you know, scrap over, profanity and stuff.
I ain't walking nowhere. I'm telling my kids, come on.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah. Damn that.
Hey, you smart. You smart.
I'm telling my kids, bring your ass over here because I'm telling you.
You smart.
And I'm just telling you, you know, my kids play sports in the hood. Like,
yeah, you smart. You smart.
Come on over here.
And maybe that was poor judgment on my part, but I said, oh nah, y'all gonna walk in the middle of the field. We'll walk in the middle of the field too. I mean,
I'm getting my kids and I'm getting out the way. Y'all can have that. And you gonna have to hear from me next week because what are y'all doing? Why y'all think it's okay to have a fucking parent fight between two teams? Are you crazy?
Yeah, one of the parents apologized to me for all that, and I said, yeah, bro, like you can't do that at a game. If they want to act silly, then let them act silly.
Let them act silly.
You know what I'm saying? Let them embarrass themselves.
Because if they ain't came in your personal space, let them talk there. Let them do that.
Yep. That's it, man.
I'm still responsible for what my kid ingests. I ain't responsible for your ignorant ass actions. I gotta make sure that my kid understand what was going on and let them know that they good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. Shout out to Chief Rocker in the chat.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, bro. All right, so let me get this out the way. Let me get into the NFL a little bit. Eric Bieniemy got a job in college, offensive coordinator at UCLA. I hate this for him. I hate it. I mean, congrats that you got a job.
I hate that he says it was his choice.
Oh, he did say that?
He said it was his choice. He said the Commanders did not fire him. He left. Well, he didn't say in quotes, he left. He said the Commanders did not fire me.
Okay. So I guess we're led to believe that he walked away on his own terms then.
Well, I call Cap. I ain't
okay.
gonna hold
Okay. Okay. I don't know.
I don't know that to be true.
That was a weird,
to be true
because that was a weird. See, that was a weird change of events. Like he's he's with the Chiefs, giving them a pep talk before the championship game, and then the Commanders make their hire, and then they bring in Cliff Kingsbury, and then they don't address what his status is, what the team is. So it certainly was,
I mean, look, it could
weird.
even be like, look, he could have said, you know what, guys, I don't want to be here no more for whatever reason. Look, the Commanders ain't the stablest of organizations. Like, sure, he could have done that. I'm just saying, or what seems logical to me is, bruh, if you're trying to get a head coaching job in NFL, don't go to. I mean, but maybe he's seeing what Harbaugh did in Michigan. I don't know what the I don't know what the logic is.
I thought he was gonna go back to the Chiefs for real.
I knew he wasn't, because they just won a Super Bowl with Nagy at fucking offensive coordinator.
Well, not to be a OC, but I thought he was going to go back there in some capacity.
Be a running back coach?
I don't know. I thought he would go there under some capacity, but he still would have been in the NFL and not in college. You know what I'm saying?
But look, if the thought process is, I'm trying to prove my worth as a coach. Going to take a running back coach job in the NFL, a position coach job in the NFL, I feel is a backward step. Now, I think an OC job in college is also a backward step, but I think there's levels to it, because in college as an OC, your job is to coach an offense.
And you can, and the league can look at the college landscape and say, ooh, I like this guy's offense. Yeah, let's bring him in.
Especially with how when quarterbacks come in now, teams tend to adapt what they did in college and bring that to the pros to make them comfortable.
That's true.
So if he can run a good offense, and I don't know who the quarterback is in UCLA, obviously, but if you can take that quarterback and make him a high prospect, and then he say, or that team think, ooh, be a good idea to bring Eric Bieniemy, who put this offense together and has NFL experience. If that's your strategy, cool, I get it. I can see it, but for me, this isn't. I don't know what to think anymore, because all I can think about is LaShawn McCoy saying, "This dude ain't an X's and O's guy." That's all I could think about. And I'm not saying he is or ain't. I'm just telling you what my thought process is.
He the only one that's kind of come out and said that.
Because everybody else likes him, but nobody else came out and said, yes, he is X's and O's guy. Everybody else came out and said, this is a good coach. I like this guy. He's good for players. Yeah. That type of thing. And you can be a head coach. Look, Mike Tomlin has notoriously not been known as an X's and O's guy. So you can get a job that way. You know what I'm saying? So that's not, I wish somebody would have took a shot on Eric Bieniemy to make him feel like, hey man, you deserve to be here, because regardless of what he is, X's and O's, or more of a team leader coach, his him being a part of the Chiefs, them 5, 6, 7 years was enough for him to get a head coaching job at this point.
Facts.
Period.
Facts.
Period. So I hope it works out for him, but I definitely think I don't know that I believe he quit. But maybe
that's a mystery.
We ain't never gonna find out. And look, that nigga ain't got no reason to lie. Well, sure, dudes. Everybody got a reason to lie, depending on what's going on.
Sure, and depending on what's at stake and what the play is. Sure.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I do wish the best for him. Obviously, I hope UCLA gets there, because they're not a winning team. I know they're not a ranked team. They have been a ranked team.
Well, they're in a Pac-12, and the Pac-12 is dismantling, at least for the upcoming season. So, are they going to be? What, Big Ten? Someone out there can confirm that for me.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. I would love for somebody to tell me who the quarterback. Because now, I have a vested interest in UCLA because I want Eric Bieniemy to be a head coach in the NFL. He deserves to be a head coach in the NFL. So if he feel like this is his route, then all right, cool. I hope it work out for you. But yeah.
Thanks, Chief Rocka. He confirmed it for me. They're going to the Big Ten. UCLA is so. And shout out to Big Kev 303 in the YouTube live chat too. But yeah, like you, I wish them all the best. And yeah, now that you say that you're a little more intrigued about what happens with them because of Eric Bieniemy, I might be on that wagon with you as far as seeing who the quarterback's going to be and like what. And obviously we know who the competition is, and you know it's not going to be easy.
It's damn sure ain't going to be easy.
You know what I mean? I mean they got the national champs in there, so so yeah, we're gonna find out. We definitely gonna find out, man.
Yeah, I'm sure gonna find out.
So who's been tagged so far? Franchise tag wise, T. Higgins got the tag from the Bengals, right? That makes sense. You guys intend on using the tag on anybody?
I don't know. I ain't heard. We are about $20 million under cap right now.
Under? Really?
Under 100% under. We cut a core four. We cut a core four that was $13 million. Cut Presley Harvin, that was like $3 million. We cut Mason Cole.
That's the punter, right?
Yeah, the black punter. Yep. Yeah. We cut Mason Cole, the starting center. We cut it's another guy I'm missing. Yeah, we definitely like 20 under the cap. And that's not even me adding the the raise everybody got in salary cap.
Yeah, so, right. Because they got what? And what was like the raise? 50 million more, or
maybe
30?
50. Maybe it was. I thought it was 30 million.
Okay.
But I don't. But don't quote me. Don't quote me on that. Yeah. So we got a little space to play with. But only. I mean, shit. You reminded me that T. Higgins got the tag. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It's a little early for me to be paying attention to franchise tags. I thought that was a real early franchise tag for T. Higgins. I get why they did it.
Yeah.
But it seemed that's an early tag.
So it's when free agency start? March 12th or
normally
something?
about to say
crazy like that.
About to say normally 12, something like that.
Yeah. So Sport Track came up with that list. I saw that list on Twitter a few days ago where it was talking about everybody's cap space situation.
I know the Commanders is $96 million.
A positive space, right?
Yeah. They got money. They got money drafts. They got.
You know who got bread? The Texans got bread.
Yeah,
they got bread. They can do a lot with that money, man. Like I'm hearing like these Saquon Barkley rumors. Saquon to the Texans, and that would be.
Which, by the way, I would not do.
You said if you're the Texans, you wouldn't do that.
They got a good running backs. You can keep that money. You can go address. You got a decent running game. You can address other situations.
How much you think he gonna command on the open market?
8.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of people say that that the market for running backs this offseason is gonna
be lower than that.
Yeah. I've
but
heard.
He's still Saquon Barkley, and I get injury history, but everybody know healthy what he is. He gonna command 8. I know less than 8. I can't see him command I can't see him getting no less than 8.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And Derrick Henry, we'll see what he's gonna command also.
I heard Derrick Henry might go to the Ravens.
Yeah, I keep seeing that. I don't think they're doing that.
Yeah, neither do I. But
they're not doing that.
Yeah, like you still got Slim coming back.
Yeah, Keaton Mitchell and Gus.
Dobbins.
Dobbins is gonna be.
Oh yeah, I know you think he's gonna be gone. Yeah,
I think he's gone, man. I think he might be what 5. What do you think he'd get him 5 or 6?
Yeah, I mean that's why I'm thinking you would keep him because really I can't 5 would be good, but I feel like given the injury history, you could probably get him for a little bargain.
Yeah,
probably get him for a little bargain.
That's true.
And I mean healthy, you know what he do.
Yeah, I mean Dobbins and Mitchell, that would be. But see, that'd be more the reason why I think they probably let one of them go, and Dobbins would be the one to go.
Why not Justice Hill though?
Justice is they seem to trust him more.
Sure,
As far as
less injury.
less injuries, protects the ball better in situations.
Then Dobbins? I'm just asking.
Better than I think better than Dobbins. Third, and I think he's better at Dobbins when it comes to the pass pro as well. Okay. When the running back's got to block and stuff.
You would know better.
So than me. I think that's why they won't part with Justice Hill. Now I'm gonna be upset if they part with Gus. That'll be that I couldn't handle that if they let that man walk. But I could see them letting Dobbins walk if Mitchell, if Mitchell's gonna be on there. I mean, he's a rookie,
cheap.
so
he's cheap, right?
Cheap, and like we have him at least another 2-3 years. So I could see that being the case there.
Did you happen to have the list of salary caps top 10?
I don't. And it's funny because
I saved it.
It's funny while you were talking, I was looking up that Sport Track list because I really, there was some interesting things like the Texans salary cap was an interesting one.
I know the Skins was the Commanders was number 1. That I know. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't remember everybody after that.
Right. Yeah, here's a list. This is a list of this is franchise tag values from Spot Track. T. Higgins, $21.8 million for that tag.
Okay, but that's the receiver. That's the position tag.
Yes, because Michael Pittman would be 21.8 as well, and I didn't get the news that the Colts did tag him, but it sounds like based off this list that they did. Matabike with the Ravens 22.1. The same thing with Christian Wilkins, defensive tackle.
Yeah, because tags are by position or positional tags. It's not based on the player. So
right.
Yeah.
Linebackers $24 million, and corners 19.8. Safeties 17.1.
What's the quarterback tag? Just curious.
It's not on the list here.
Gotcha.
But I think the one I'm more surprised about is this. Maybe I'm not surprised about the safety one. 17.1.
Nah, I'm not surprised. About that.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah. Just a little. Let's be clear. Safeties. They got it.
You need safeties. You need safeties.
You need them, man. Like it's not a glamorous position, but you fucking need them, man.
You need safeties. That's for certain. That's for certain, man.
You gotta have them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you definitely gotta have them. Linebackers, I'm cool with $24 million. Like I'm cool with that.
Yeah, look,
especially if they a pass rusher like specialists.
Well, one thing we know is that all these prices are going to keep on rising, but particularly on defense, like you said, pass rushers, cornerbacks. Safeties particularly, because safeties got obviously, to defend the middle, but sometimes they got to play cornerbacks and sometimes they got to play linebackers. A lot of these safeties got to play in the box and outside of the box, depending on what's going on. So, safeties, I can see safeties. Obviously you would value a shutdown corner over a safety, but it's getting to a point with these tight ends that safeties are going to have to, and linebackers for that matter, are going to have coverage skills, elite coverage skills. So, I wonder how long it's going to be, I guess, depending on how many more tight ends come in of that, Travis Kelce cut or cloth.
Yep.
But it seems like damn near every tight end want to be Travis Kelce nowadays.
Mm-hmm. So you was right earlier. The salary cap last season, $224.8 million. This coming season, $255.4 million. So that's about a $30 million increase there. And I'll be honest with you, bro. That difference might double the following off season. I mean, the way this thing is rolling, man. It's like the NFL is like the Federal Reserve, man. It's like
they getting their money, man.
Printing
like,
the money, man.
They definitely been getting money. And I don't know, obviously I don't think I've been to a football game. I'm sure I haven't been to a football game since the pandemic. So, I'm sure they're finding ways to make up for that, that year.
Right.
I'm sure. Clearly they haven't missed a beat. They have not missed a beat.
It's interesting you said that, because they got all the league years from dating back to 1994 on this list I got up. So 2019 to 2020, there was a $10 million increase in the cap. 2020 to 2021, there was roughly a $16 million decrease in the cap. Yeah. And then from 21 to 22, it shot back up from 182 to 208. So that's a little bit that's about almost 30 million more after that. So I didn't realize that decrease, but obviously 2020, we all know, know what happened there. So, but yeah, man, it's they stay printing money over there.
They there clearly
like a factory.
Yeah. How do you if we can go to basketball? I don't know if you have anything else in football.
No.
How do you feel about college court storming? What's your opinion? I heard. I don't know if this is true. That Caitlin Clark suffered an injury and somebody at Duke suffered an injury.
She did, and he did
for court storming. So that's why this has been a hot topic over the past week. What's your opinion on it?
I'll be honest with you. I really didn't even have an opinion about it until I heard about the Duke player, getting injured in that situation. But I think in general, I'm quite sure that these coaches and these players talk through these kinds of situations, right? So it was Duke versus, what was that, Wake Forest, I think? And I just
saw Duke.
So Wake Forest sounds like they were unranked, and they beat Duke, and Duke is a ranked team. So usually when you're at the non-ranked team's arena, that's when you always know when you're a ranked team coming in that you get upset that there's a possibility that fans are going to come and storm the court. So if you're a coach in an organization and the college and the council, you're going to have to communicate with your players that you better get out the way, because if we get upset, then you know where these exits are, you know where the tunnel is, you know which way you got to go, and you know which directions these students are going to be coming from. So I'm quite sure that those kinds of things are talked about amongst these programs. But I really don't have an opinion on it because it's a tradition, obviously. It happens in football too, and obviously a football field is so much bigger, maybe 2 times bigger than a basketball court. Yeah, maybe 3 times more bigger than that. But obviously there's more fans at football games, so it wouldn't be a situation where it's overcrowding the field. But I just always looked at it as it's normal. It's a tradition that they do when a team gets upset. Do
you agree with the idea that court storming should be? They should get rid of court storming. I've seen that on. I mean, look, Caitlin Clark, fresh off being the leading woman scorer, getting ready to be the all-time college basketball scoring leader, should be safe on her turf being the court.
Right.
So when you talk about somebody like of her caliber getting injured, and no disrespect to the Duke player, but you talk about somebody in the same week.
Now the Duke player is prominent. Now I've heard.
I don't know who he is. So
I've learned a little bit about him.
Caitlin Clark.
Well, of course he's not, but he's not. I guess in what Caitlin Clark has been doing this year in terms of setting records, but I think this guy at Duke, I think he's the most talked about guy on the men's side, at least.
I ain't never heard of that nigga.
if they got rid of it, cool. Like I don't have a really like strong opinion about it. I just wish it didn't have to come down to this for them to do so, because look, it's happened in the past. It's happened a lot. Think about the people that we don't hear about that might get caught in the stampede or get injured and things like that. Think about the folks we don't hear about. This is being brought about because two prominent faces of their respective programs got hurt. So I think that's why there's a lot more attention being brought to it. But if they're gonna get rid of it, then cool. Like I don't really have a strong opinion about it.
Oh, I mean, you see, when you say things like tradition, it makes me feel like you had a not necessarily a strong opinion, but I would have guessed that maybe you was more a fan of carry on tradition. So that's interesting to hear that you say don't get rid of. I mean, you don't care. For me, I would say, hey guys, we just need to get some education going on. What's expected of the crowd if we're gonna let y'all do this? What's expected of security? What's expected of players? What's expected of coaches? What's expected of the ball boy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
I think for me, I believe in tradition. I believe that that's a that's a thing. Like that's a dope thing to have. Have tradition, and that we can kids, college kids, and fans can enjoy themselves in that manner. But hey, y'all need to chill out a little bit. Cause y'all getting people hurt. Y'all need to chill out a little bit.
So I haven't heard anybody talk about this, but I do wonder if security is extra beefed up at games like a Duke versus Wake Forest.
I'm gonna assume so.
I would assume so too.
I would assume so because people understand like this ain't Duke versus Maryland. No disrespect to my Terps. You know what I'm saying. So this ain't quote unquote a rivalry game. At least like it used to be when the Terps were good.
ACC.
But you know what I'm saying. So I would think that maybe, but even if it ain't, I don't know. What I know is that anything in this situation could incite a court storming. So training needs to happen, and again, fans need to know, hey, we with you. We want this thing to go on. We want you to enjoy yourselves. But these are some things that we're gonna have to do to keep everybody safe. I seen somebody on ESPN, but on Twitter. Shout out to my news station on Twitter. They said that you should go ahead and let everybody storm the court, and then once everybody's on the court, start handing out citations.
That's a lot of citations to hand out.
Right. That's one. And two, like, are you like, come on, bro? Like, I get it. We want to keep everybody safe, but
I saw somebody say that.
I couldn't remember who it was, but I know it was somebody.
I think it was Jay Billis that said something about
maybe.
Handing out citations or arresting them or something like that.
Like,
nah.
And I was like, bro, that's a little extra. That's a little
extra.
Especially because this is something we've been doing for years.
That's a lot.
So now all of a sudden you're gonna start arresting people?
Right. I will say this though, and I'm glad you said something about the fans, and it reminded me of this point. So in that replay of the Duke Wake Forest game, they had the overhead shot of the fans storming the court, and one of the fans actually pushed that Duke player in the back while trying to storm the court.
Right.
I will say this to the fans. Keep your damn hands to yourself. I'm telling you, just stop thinking y'all can touch these athletes, y'all. Like,
because you can't fight. I get it. Right. You excited? I get it. Y'all excited, and all those things. But if that dude decided, however tall he is and however much he weigh, however much you weigh and however tall you are, to swing on you because you pushed him and he didn't know you was gonna push him, and you don't need to be putting your hands on me. Then what?
Keep your hands to yourself, fans.
Keep your hands to yourself. I'm all for excitement. I'm all for those things. But, bro, these guys are performing for you. So for y'all to start disrespecting their personal space, or maybe not even personal space in this crowd storming situation, but to put your hands on them, Yeah, like it's crazy, bro. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
It's legit crazy. I still got a problem with it. Like
Yeah.
the nigga, the white people who called KD a bitch just to try to push to them that I got a podcast.
Yeah.
Like, are you crazy? Like, it's just a certain amount of respect that you gotta have for people that are getting more money than you to entertain you, and two, flat out just people to entertain you. Like, who are you talking to? Like, if KD was a different dude, like, hey man, he out here rapping like Jay Electronica. Like, if he was a different dude and he wanted to smack fire out you, and he, let's say, worst case scenario, he smacked fire out of him, and then worst case scenario, he gets put out the league. My man's still good. Like, you gotta stop doing, y'all gotta stop doing this for clout or for promotion or whatever it is. And I ain't go, like, when I saw that and found out that they had a podcast and that's what they were trying to relay to Kevin Durant. I ain't go look up who these people were. I ain't go try to find out their name and what they were doing on their podcast. All I seen is the dumbass people who was calling Kevin Durant a bitch because you wanted some attention. Are you crazy?
So my 2 points about that. So one of the things I like what KD said in the aftermath was that these fans look at us as inhuman until you approach them and then they realize, oh, this cat's a human.
This nigga's 6'10".
My second point is I disagree with the decision for KD to not get them banned from the arena. I would have had them jokers up out of there. I'm sorry, bro. KD, you a better dude than me. I'd have told security, yo, get these dudes up out of here. Like, there is no room and space for this kind of stuff. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You want to get my attention? Call me by my name, and maybe I might hear about your podcast.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. They probably thinking KD gets called by his name a million times a game. So that's not going to stand out. So they probably sat in their little house or on the ride there, like, how can we get KD's attention? And I mean, it's a lot like when you had shout out to D, and you see a lot of them at red carpets and those types of things, and you got to do something to get their attention. Like, you don't always get their attention by just calling their name. You know what I'm saying? You got to do something.
You got to do something else. Sure.
You got to do something. So, you know what I'm saying? Now, that was a bad thing to do. And I didn't hear what was said to them and what the back and forth was, but you could tell that KD immediately realized they didn't really want smoke. 2, that they didn't really want smoke. And 3, they was sitting there trying to make peace because...
And she had the nerve. She had the nerve to put her hand out there like she want a handshake.
Yeah.
Like, slapped your hand off, man.
Because it was a tactic to try to get his attention. Now, it was a bad tactic and it didn't work, but it was a tactic to try to get his attention. So, I mean, I get him on that. I wouldn't necessarily felt that way. I mean, well, let me say this. It depends on how I felt that day. Look, man, like I'm sure Kevin Durant has been called a bitch or a sellout or a sucker, like all these things, especially leaving to go to Golden State. He's been called these things a million times, if not to his face, on comments.
Sure.
You know. So
and every situation is different. Like, you come out to the tunnel versus maybe you're on a bench in the middle of a game and you hear somebody call you that. Maybe 2-3 rows behind you. So, I get the situation is different.
In no way am I saying it's acceptable. In no way am I saying it's acceptable. I'm just saying that I'm sure that Kevin Durant has tough skin.
Of course,
anybody of that, Hall of Fame player, he's been called worse way more often.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know.
I would have been okay if he'd have told security, hey, get him up out of there.
I would have been mad at it. I wouldn't have been on here talking about KD was tripping.
I remember LeBron at a Pacers game was pointing at these 2 white folks alongside on court side and was like, yo, ref, during the middle of a game.
Yeah.
Pointing at them, yo, get him up out of there. And they sure enough got him up out of there. So
that's the Kane.
Yeah, you come for the Kane.
I mean, so I'm not mad either way. what I'll say is that again, it's okay to talk some trash, man, but don't be disrespectful, man. It's all like talk trash.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the day that I am courtside of the Wizards game and my Wizards are actually competing, and I'm gonna talk trash to the opposition.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna be respectful. But I'm definitely gonna talk my shit, and I can't wait for that day.
Mm-hmm.
So just is what it is. Just people be respectful. These are human beings at the end of the day.
Yep.
That you paid money for to see.
Yeah.
That don't get it twisted like they owe you something something more than a basketball game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Hey, how much of the Heat-Pelicans game from last week's highlights, how much of that did you happen to catch? Nothing. Nothing.
I'm just gonna go with nothing, man. Cause the truth is that I see a lot of stuff on social media, man, and I try my best. And what I think I need to start doing is retweeting it, so when I go looking during the week, I can see it. But if I don't write it down right away or commenting on it right away, a lot of times I just forget.
Okay, so you didn't see any highlights.
I mean,
do you know the story? Do you know
I know that there was a kerfuffle. I do know that.
Okay. So they handed out suspensions for this. So Jimmy Butler 1-game suspension. Najee Marshall with the Pelicans 1 game. So those are the two that kind of got face to face with it along the court side there. But the reason it started was because Zion took a hard foul by I forget who it was, but he took a hard foul, and I guess Najee Marshall didn't like what Jimmy had said or something, and then they kind of got into each other's face, and so now a few more players get involved here. So Thomas Bryant, the former Wizard, gets 3 games because him and Jose Alvarado with the Pelicans, he got 3 games also. So they had a little, back and forth after they were trying to calm down the Jimmy and Najee situation there. And Nikola Jovic that's the guy that I think gave Zion the hard foul.
Okay.
I don't know. They saying he left the bench. So no, he wasn't the guy that fouled him, but he got a 1-game suspension just for leaving the bench. I guess that rule still is in play.
Yeah,
after all these years.
And people leave the bench all the time, so
it's crazy. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
it's just crazy here. But I'll say this about this situation, because this had a chance to become Malice of the Palace Part 2, and I don't know if people caught this, but there was a Pelicans fan maybe 2 or 3 rows up, because everybody on the court was crowded by like the middle of the court area there by the sideline. And all you see is a guy, he's a Pelicans fan because he had the jersey on. He had a red tee underneath of it. I think he had dreads too. But dude just started throwing, like, it looked like a bag of popcorn right in their crowd, right? He threw that, and then he threw something else, and it looked like it hit one of the assistant coaches. So I saw one of the assistant coaches throw something back into the stands, whatever. And I'm sitting here like, yo, if niggas wanted to, niggas could just go right in the stands and just hem old boy up.
They gotta stop this shit, man.
Like, I'm like, what are y'all doing, man? Like,
they gotta, and it's like, it's, I don't condone violence.
Part 2 gotta happen somewhere, man. Like,
a fan might gotta get boo-bop real quick.
Yeah.
He might have to get them paws put on.
He would have deserved it, though. If somebody would have went in there, he would have deserved it.
Yeah, like, somebody it might need to be a reminder, it seemed like Slim Isaiah Stewart out here throwing hands like a motherfucker in Detroit. So it might have to happen in the fucking Palace. I don't know if it's still the Palace, but
he tried to bum rush LeBron that one year. It was last year, the year before.
Isaiah Stewart just punched somebody in the face like last week, didn't he?
Yeah, he was in the news again. I forget what for. I forget what for, but yeah, he a wild one.
Yeah, like he might have. Yeah, it might have to happen again to somebody, man. Now I wish fans would, get the picture, but maybe they just needed a little reminder. Maybe they need a little reminder, man, because Russell Westbrook years ago, like people just be playing too much. Like it's again,
It's crazy.
talk trash, smack little shit talk ain't never hurt nobody. But stop disrespecting people, like hands throwing, personal space, like cut that out.
Now they did say that they did escort that fan out the arena after that happened, but I'm just like that situation right there, because I'm having flashbacks of Ron Artest laying down on that that thing over there, and somebody threw a cup at him, the scores table.
Yeah.
I'm having that flashback, and someone threw that cup on him, and that's when he just lost it. You know what I'm saying?
Rightfully so.
This dude,
rightfully so.
Yeah, exactly. This dude throws a popcorn bag at an assistant coach while he's trying to break up a scuffle, and everything right there, it was open for somebody to go in them stands and hem old boy up.
Yeah.
It was open. It was open, man. So, I guess the Hornets Warriors thing, it wasn't a lot much there. This was sort of like the end of the game kind of a situation. But
They said the fight. I saw the fight, bro. I seen somebody post a video. They was like, "Hey, y'all, look at Steph Curry." Like Steph Curry looked like he didn't even know a fight was happening.
Steph was just like, "Yo, I'm here. We won the game." That's all that man cared about, because this was the end of the game.
Yeah.
And they so I guess Miles Bridges was involved, Grant Williams. I forget the dude that they starting on Golden State in place of Klay Thompson. I forget who the cat is that they starting, but they was getting into it, and then Grant Williams was saying something to Draymond while Draymond is on the sideline, and Draymond on his podcast the following day was like, "Yo, Grant Williams, like, I don't know why you trying to like portray this tough guy." Mantra, but you're like one of the nicest guys in the league. Like, why are you trying to, act like you tough and stuff?
But he had a little moment last playoff,
with Jimmy Butler, yeah. Yeah, but I think people in the league look at that too when they say, Grant Williams, I mean, there's a reason why the Celtics traded him. And there's a reason why the Mavericks just traded him this trade deadline too. So
where did he go?
To the Hornets.
To the Hornets, yeah.
To the Hornets, yeah. Yeah.
So who is that? Is that the one where I saw somebody call somebody a bitch? Like you could.
Yes.
Okay, that was the one. Okay,
that is. Yeah, it was Draymond. It was Draymond. You saw his face, and I think you saw the back of Grant Williams. Yep, that was that situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, man, say what you want about Draymond, man. He all right with me, man.
Yeah, Draymond is...
He all right with me, man.
Yeah. Hall of Famer, man.
Yeah, man.
I don't care what nobody says.
Most triple singles in a career. Most triple singles in a career.
Shout out to Draymond, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Warriors playing some good ball lately.
Yeah,
for certain. They playing some good ball. And I guess this last one, I really don't want to get deeper into it, because it seemed like Mike Conley is one of the nicest guys in the league, right? Like, you never seen him get involved in anything. You ain't never seen nobody getting nobody's face like that. So I guess this is Timberwolves and the Nets. I think this was, and I forgot Dennis Schroeder got traded to the Nets. But it's one of those unwritten rules, I guess. When you down in the game and the clock is about to be 0, you don't shoot the basketball if you're the winning team or something like that. So Mike Conley got the ball. He shot the ball. The Timberwolves was clearly winning. Seconds go off, and Schroeder just comes over and just shoves Mike Conley.
Really?
Yeah. And then the whole thing, just kind of broke out. And there's been debates about, why is this an unwritten rule and da 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 da, and honestly, I don't know why. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't know why it's an unwritten rule.
Well, I get in principle why it's an unwritten rule. It's like, dog, y'all already smoking this. What is? But y'all already smoking this. It's just like a high in my face type of energy.
Yep.
But at the same time, like, let's say he shot the ball and it went in. Mm-hmm. Y'all already losing by however much y'all losing. So what is the extra 2 points going to matter?
Extra
like, what
2
are we
points.
Like what are we talking about for real? Like, I do understand it. I can understand why that's an unwritten rule. I can understand it, but at the end of the day, like, for Dennis Schroeder to go and push him behind it is like,
yeah.
All right, man. Just go like take the fuel to the next time you see him. Like
it brought me to a flashback a few seasons ago when Jay Crowder got shoved by Elfrid Payton when Elfrid Payton was on the Knicks the year before we got Thibodeau. That was wild.
Yeah,
that,
it's just
that was
man. Like sure. Is it shit talking? Yeah, it's shit talking. Like that's that. Or and maybe Mike Conley didn't have that intent. I don't know. I know that it could be looked at as shit talking. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, like it really ain't that deep. Like what? Like, again, 2 extra points. Like it. Like, if you already getting blown out, it's not like, what's the difference between 40 and a 42-point blowout? Like, what are we talking about?
What do they say? What do they say? Hey, why don't you just stop me from shooting?
Yeah, hey, I mean, look. If you ain't like it, block the shot. I don't know.
Make sure y'all possess the ball last or something.
Yeah,
crazy like that.
It just seems like a lot. I know these are unrealistic things to say, but it just seems so minuscule. But I know one thing: the next time they see him, Schroeder better ball.
Yeah,
I know that.
Right. Yeah, I have to check that schedule and see if they play again. I know the Pelicans and Heat play again in March in Miami, and Jimmy Butler had some words in the press about that and saying, yeah, we gonna be the better team. So when we see him again, we just gonna handle our business, whatever. Mm-hmm. Now, Brandon Ingram, just for context, Brandon Ingram went out of that game early with an injury, so we didn't finish that game. And I think McCollum sat out that entire game too. So I would imagine next time around, Pelicans are going to be fully healthy with all their guys. So, we'll see what happens there. We'll see. But the NBA, they had a week, man, coming off the All-Star break, man. They couldn't wait to get back at it, man.
Yeah, man. That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Yeah, like I said, Dennis Schroeder, man. Ball out, man. Go get you a game, man. One thing that is, has he had a noteworthy game since he bet on himself and got less money with the Lakers?
I don't know, bro. You know what? You know who I look at Dennis Schroeder as? The guy that just gets passed around like a blunt, bro.
Oh,
I hate to say it.
You ain't wrong.
Hawks, Celtics, Nets.
Yeah.
Now,
but he a good backup point guard.
He's good. No, he's good in that role. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Lakers. I
but that happens. But and to be fair, that happens to a lot of backup point guards.
That is true. That
when
that
you're
is
a good
true.
backup point guard, that happens a lot. So
that's true.
So, but yeah,
it's just when you asked about any highlights, it's just I can't think of.
Well,
really
I
any...
remember a time where where maybe we felt like as a group, as a community, we felt like Dennis Schroeder was a starting point guard caliber type of player, maybe at the bottom of the list.
Toronto, I forgot about Toronto, and he did start in Toronto until they traded for Quickly. So now Quickly took his spot. So
like he is a good point guard. Mm-hmm. I remember there was a time when he was making, good money. Yeah. And then he decided to turn down a contract because he thought he was going to get more money I think that was with Boston.
I think Boston was the one that gave him like the bag. And then they traded him after like a year or something like that.
I thought I remember us making like, dog, you had the money over here, and he thought he could get more money somewhere else. So he turned down the deal that Boston offered him. And then he ended up going to the Lakers for less money. And I remember that being a talking point.
Yeah.
Because it was like, bruh, you had the bag over in Boston and you thought you could get more.
Right.
No, that wasn't your value, and here you are with less money. I remember at the time it was like a 4-year, $84 million contract, I think, that Boston had offered them. And then he went to the Lakers, and they gave him like significantly less. But at that point, he didn't have nothing else on the table.
Right. He had 2 stints with the Lakers. I don't think I realized that. But 5 years, his first 5 years, all with the Hawks. Forgot he was in OKC for a couple years after that.
Yeah, I remember.
Then he went to the Lakers. Then he got the bag in Boston. Then they Then they traded him to the Rockets. Same year. Same year they traded him to the Rockets. I didn't realize that was an in-season trade. Went back to the Lakers. Then he went to the Raptors, and then they just traded him to Brooklyn right after they got Quickly and RJ. So
yeah, like I said, quality backup point guard, man. You can't take from him.
He is. He been getting passed around like a Philly blunt the last 7 seasons, bro.
I mean, you know, what can you say?
Yeah, hey, he getting work. So
yeah, because a lot of niggas ain't getting work.
He in the league, so, and he not in the G League, so. Shout out to the homie Klepto Guns in the Facebook live chat, man.
What up?
Shout out to the homies, man. I'm good, man. If you ain't got nothing,
I'm hungry as hell.
Yeah, I'm hungry too, bro. And shout out to everybody else. Fame, I see you. Chief Rocker, Jersey Vern, I see you. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Don't forget, folks, continue to follow us on the social media. We're on Twitter at BarbershopSPOR2. You can follow us on the Facebook page. Click the like button. You can also follow us on the YouTube channel. Let everybody know they can subscribe to the channel. Hit us up on Twitch as well. Email us at barbershopsportstalk1@gmail.com. And write us a review on any of these streaming platforms. Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Let us know what you think about the show with a review. It goes a long way. And we do got merch, so check out that link in the description of this episode. If you're watching, we got some hoodies, we got hats and t-shirts, and we even got some stuff in there for the ladies. So make sure y'all check that out. I guess that's it, man.
Hey, man. Next week.
Yeah. Looking forward to it, man. Love, peace, and happiness to everybody out there. And as always, folks, mind your damn business.
Drink some water.
Recording stopped.
We got 'em. Trey, Frazier, and Maestro Styles, you know we got one. Right back like we left something. We don't duck smoke, we want all of it. So line them up, Trey sharp with the blade, you know we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, you know Styles making the cut. Cause we coming out clean every time that we showing up.
It's gonna be called The Barbershop.